personal growth as a filmmaker. Film isn't like any other form of art. Over the past decade, the perspective of film has changed drastically. Movies inspire. They have a way of setting tones. All elements of art are interconnected, and they are very similar. But the difference between movies and art is that movies can both take the lead in creating other arts and following arts. Which I mean is they're able to take a piece of art and tell a story behind it. When you paint a picture, you just paint that picture. A movie can take that picture to a whole other place with the story. As you know, film has been increasing in popularity over the past decade, as I said before. In 2009, across major territories, there were over 6.8 billion cinema admissions. Not only has film become very popular, but film has become a powerful vehicle for culture, education, leisure, and propaganda. And it's not only just in America. Film has impacted everybody around the world. It's global. But what makes film so special? Film has the ability to connect to viewers on a personal level. It pulls in viewers to make it seem like they're actually in the film. So how has film become such a predominant role in today's society? Film is a reflection of today's society and past society. Movies are stories, and movies are people who come up with ideas about something they want to say, something they want to tell somebody. Movies can also be a special form of communication. The world is changing now faster than anything. It's constantly changing, and that constant changing world is going to induce more movie making. If you go on YouTube, you can see that the most talented young people all over the world who take a camera and start to film ideas and put them online, and they're going to be the future of the industry. The internet has connected the world together. For me personally, I like to create short films and YouTube videos to help express my personal expression, helping me release stress and at the same time to do what I love. The film which I've chosen to analyze today is called Roma by Alfonso Cuarón. So the basic summary of Roma is there's a girl named Cleo, and she's one of the two domestic workers who help a couple, Antonio and Sofia, take care of their 4 children in the 1970s in Mexico City. But the conflict soon occurs when Antonio suddenly runs away with his mistress, and Cleo finds out that she's pregnant. And when Sofia decides to take the kids on a vacation, she invites Cleo for a getaway to clear her mind and bond with their family. And basically the theme of this, it just celebrates life in the face of adversity, and it captures the feeling of being overlooked and being in the center of a family's life. It was voted one of the best in the Oscars, and it was a very low budget film, $15 million, which may sound like a lot, but it's actually very low in comparison to some films. And it was shot in black and white, which is actually very impressive because it's been like at least 2 decades since a black and white film has won any award. And it's very, very, very worth watching. It has a very good theme, and the reason I chose it is because of the cinematography. It was shot only with one camera, but the cinematography is very advanced and it conveys the theme and a message. So one of the film's most powerful shots, in my opinion, is this one right here. And this could be served as a final image. It's basically when Cleo takes a break from the laundry and she lies head to head with Pepe, and she plays dead on the rooftop of their home. The camera basically pans up in the background, and you see their nannies on a dozen other rooftops washing and hanging their own laundry. And Roma is like known for putting women like Cleo in front and center, but this shot suggests that it's just the tip of the iceberg, and all these women have stories worth telling. So usually shots are just to convey the meaning of the subject in the shot, but as by this shot, it's not only conveying subjects Cleo and Pepe, it's also conveying the background of the nannies. So some of the camera techniques I see, the director Cuarón wanted a very specific look for Roma, and there's certain rules about camera movement. So to analyze the camera movement, the camera is always moving in a horizontal way, and he shot in black and white, but it is in a crisp 65mm digital format. So every frame is very clear and full of detail, but not grainy like the way like the way you typically see black and white films. So he took some of the past, took some of the future, and combined it into Roma, which is something I'm very inspired by. As I said, the camera was always moving left to right, never going into a subject space, which we usually see in modern movies. But the term for this is called the ghost eye view. It's basically where the viewer is in the observing, but it's not actually participating in the action. We're usually in movies, we're all up and close, making it feel like we're actually in the film. Whereas in Roma, we're in the ghost view, where the camera is panning left to right and not actually going into the viewer. So obviously there's lower class, middle class, and high class, but how does the level of class play into this film? Well, obviously there's a poor domestic worker in the middle class, and she's living in a middle class house, which is very common in Mexico in the 1970s. But Roma explores all the class differences by depicting Cleo's role within the family, sitting on the floor next to the couch on the TV the night before being dispatched to get tea. It also spends time in the both poor cities outside the capital and the extensive farm land of the wealthy family during the holiday visit. The New Year's party provides some of the highest examples of the class division of rich class. While families party in the main house, the servants hold their own, get together in your downstairs basement. And Cleo passes by between the two spaces, not fitting in a particular one. But when the fire approaches the family's property, the servants basically line up with a bucket change while they basically line up in a chain while the rich family members sip their wine and just watch. And one privileged man who's dressed in a costume brings in the New Year's with a song as the burning tree collapses in the background. And that scene is another example of a single take shot where everything is just shot in one shot, which is another technique which Quaron uses. So one thing I noticed about this film is its use of water, and I feel like water is Roma's most prevalent recurring motive. The film opens on a shot of an empty title, and while we hear the sounds of mopping in the background, then a puddle of water filled. So while watching this movie, I found that water is a very prevalent theme. It's a very recurring motive. The film opens on a shot of an empty title while we hear sounds of mopping in the background, and then after that we then see a puddle of water, and it basically fills the frame, and then in its reflection we see a view of the sky above the family house, just as planes cross. The film's closing shot is a mirror of this one. It shows the same image but looking up into a sky rather than down on the ground as Cleo goes down the stairs. The director says that many years ago the memory of his childhood climbing those stairs was the image that served as the purpose of this film. So the director Quaron is using his own memories to put his own film, which is what I want to do one day. Is I want to take all my childhood experiences and maybe put them in a movie. I've already been writing scripts on that. But going back to the water, as the dirty puddle grows deeper and as she continues to clean, eventually circling down a drain, the opening shot has a direct counterpart in the film's climax, where Cleo saves the two children from drowning in the ocean. So as we can see, water is a very reoccurring theme, and I would count water as a symbol in this movie. So obviously the director, Alfonso Cuarón, is going to be the filmmaker I choose to analyze in this video. He was a person who had a passion just like me for film. He started from a very low-income place family and built his way up to where he is right now. He wanted to show the world what it's like to be in his home country, and he expressed that in Roma. The thing I love about him is his passion and simplicity. And I just saw how Cuarón made a film only with $15 million, and the film turned out to be so great and inspiring, and it was known all around the world. And that just shows me that money isn't an obstacle, and that me and young filmmakers all around the world, or anybody in general who doesn't have the equipment or money can be great at filmmaking. And not only for filmmaking, they can be great at whatever they have the passion to do. And the basic lesson is money is not an obstacle. If you want to do something, you have the passion, you can be great at it, and you can achieve anything. So now about me as a filmmaker in general. So my main strength is that I can envision the whole project in my head. While I'm filming, I know what's gonna come next. I know how this shot's gonna look like. I know what type of focal length I want. I know what kind of lens I want. I know the color disposition. I know everything in my mind. But that's also a weakness because sometimes I forget. So something I can improve on is actually writing it down, taking notes, documenting my process journal. That could also help me improve as a filmmaker because I have so many ideas running through my mind. And if I have this great idea and I have another great idea, I want to do both great ideas. But if I focus on both of them at once, only one of them is going to get done. So I think my growth as a filmmaker from year 1 to year 2 has increased tremendously. I first came into this program just wanting to be with my friends because all of them were in ARCOM 1. But through year 1, I started to gain a passion for film. I started making YouTube videos. I started making short films inside and outside of the film class. And then when the option of taking Film 2 was at my disposal, I took it without hesitation because just by choosing a class which my friends were in, I gained a passion which I want to take into my future and which could be my future career. And I'm taking film very seriously right now. Currently to this day, I'm still coming up with scripts outside of film class. I'm planning on making 3 short films during summer, continuing making YouTube videos. And people think that film is just one specific thing. You have to make short films, it has to be these certain types of shots, only with a tripod. But as I've been more familiarized with film, I've realized that film can be anything in the genre of having a camera or having anything which you can shoot. Because nowadays people are even shooting on iPhones, and you just have to have a device, and you can do anything you want. It doesn't have to be any specified thing. But I enjoy film a lot, and once again, I just want to thank Mr. K for being an amazing teacher. And don't tell any other teachers, but this is my favorite class. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.